Hello, how are you?
Wonderful.
So good to see you. It's
Good to see you.
and today is, of course, I have to say two things. Happy Janmashtami first, and secondly, happy Prabhupada Appearance Day.
Jai.
It's brilliant how we had 2 days of in a way Janmashtami. Some people celebrated it on the Tuesday.
That was us in New York.
There we go.
We've had like 4 days of festival because we started on Tuesday. So we had Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it kept going Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite remarkable. At least you had. It's like you get the Indian weddings where they last for like a long time, but they're so enjoyable. So at least you got the benefits of both sides. So you count your blessings. That's what I would say. Fantastic.
I don't have any complaints. I mean, the more time we get to glorify Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, the happier I am. So fantastic. Every day is an excuse for a festival.
No, thanks for coming. And thank you, everybody, for joining. We are carrying on with our Power of Blessing. Power of Blessings? What I missed it. I can't believe it. What did we say? It was Power of Prayer.
Yes.
A Power of Prayer series. Of course, we're talking about blessings today. And Acyuta Gopi and myself, we want to just cover a few things, especially to do with blessings and how to capture blessings. And also Srila Prabhupada, who has just shown so much magic through this process of blessings. So yeah, just on this, how have the celebrations been going right now for Vyasa puja at the Radha Govinda temple?
So much of it is online. It's such a unique perspective because I'm used to being in a temple that is packed with people for 2 days and everybody's usually tired and blissfully so. So I mean, in that regard, it's been the same. It's like still blissfully tired, and I'm so thankful for that. Because what would our lives be if we weren't so busy that we were like, oh, I'm so tired.
Very true.
But we had a sweet home program.
Okay.
And we got to dress all our home deities, which sometimes doesn't get to happen because we're at the temple. And we're with Radha Govinda, who are big deities. But now we got to spread the love to our home deities and really come together as a family. And we got to watch the Abhishek, which was live streamed. But we put it on the TV, and then we had Kirtan at home because normally we're the ones who do the Abhishek Kirtan every year. Oh. And we've been doing it for years. So it still kind of felt a little bit the same. But we were really missing our Kirtan crew, our Kirtan family. We were there with each other, but still our hearts were with Radha Govinda. My mom sews an outfit for Janmashtami just about every year. She's been sewing for the deities for over 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at the blessings there. To do something like that is no mean feat. It's so wow. We must cover that. I love that.
And she's a person who has a job. Like, she held a job. She's a pujari and does seva. Without quarantine circumstances, she's usually dressing the deities either 3 or 4 times a week with a job and then sewing seva. So my mom still sewed the outfit that they wore at midnight. Oh. And she was working furiously to make sure everything was done. Yeah, it was so different, but still the same, but still different. But our hearts were there.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, and we had loads of realizations, which I'm sure we'll get to in the course of this
definitely session. And you're really nice. I was just seeing some messages, and please, I would love to hear how you celebrated the appearance day of Krishna. And if you didn't, and it's new to you, let us know how you would celebrate it if it was for somebody that was who you looked up to. We would love to hear your thoughts. And I can see here Ritu Kushal has said, yes, we were missing you too. So they were talking about kirtans.
Yeah, they went. So they were allowing a few visitors, and you had to like map out times, etc. So they went, she and her family, they went and they took pictures, and I saw them, and I could only glance at them briefly because, oh, my whole heart, I was like, oh, Radha Govinda. I think it's the first time in my entire life, besides the one time I was in London for Janmashtami.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think besides that time, we've never been away from them.
Oh, no, brilliant. So we're going to be talking about this. So, today we wanted to talk about blessings and how to. There's one thing that I was really, when we see people from all faiths, they'll say, "Please bless me. Please bless me that I can do this. Please bless me I can do that." And this aspect of blessing sometimes becomes into, instead of actually conceptualizing what blessings means and how to actually capture it, it turns into more of just a saying like, "Hi, how you doing?" It's it's like it loses that type of sense. It's not nobody's fault. It's just the way we sometimes we can get into that type of race. So there was one thing I wanted to share on this, on blessings, that really really touched me. It was at a retreat. I believe it's Satchidananda Maharaj was speaking, and he said that to capture blessings is an art. You have to know how to capture the blessings. And he gave this analogy that, imagine that you're this type of straw basket, and now this is the straw basket, and then the blessings are coming like liquid nectar into this straw basket. How you hold it, how intertwined and close it is, depends on one major faculty, and that is humility. If we do not have the humility, that straw basket will slowly just wither or become bigger and bigger, and the water, the blessings, you will not able to capture it. And just on that, I was reading that Bhakti Charu Maharaj said that we don't have to become big scholars. We don't have to become big supermen. We simply have to become humble servants of Krishna. So this humility aspect seems to be very key in capturing blessings. And this is just something like a spiritual life hack I wanted to share to everybody online, that is so important that we have that humble state of mind. Does this make sense, Acyuta Gopi?
It makes total sense. I was listening to a lecture my Guru Maharaj gave in 2018, just this morning, just before we came on this live stream. And my Guru Maharaj was saying that Srila Prabhupada was such a humble person. How many times would he give credit to his own disciples?
Yes.
And he would say, "I'm only able to do this because Krishna has sent you. Look at all the amazing things that you all are doing." And he is the founder Acharya. Usually, and I was speaking about this in a live session last night, or this morning. Normally we see these big sadhus, these big preachers, these even, Christian preachers, Hindu preachers. So many of them are saying, but look at all the great things I'm doing. And then sometimes it even ventures into the realm of, you also should worship me a little bit. And even though Srila Prabhupada set the standard that the Guru should be worshipped as one who is as good as Krishna, still in his own humility, he was willing to give credit to not only his Guru Maharaj, not only just Krishna, but his own disciples, saying, you all can become more advanced than me. All you must do is take to the process sincerely. So he was the example of humility. And it's evident in everything that he accomplished, that, like you said, that humility completes how tight our network of the basket of our hearts can be, so that we can properly catch those blessings.
And this is the part that we have to understand when it comes to blessings. And this is the another lesson I feel that's so important. We are not the doers. And sometimes we will feel, and please give us a heart, or if you agree, or comment if you disagree, because I think it's really important that we have this convo. That sometimes we think, yeah, I did that, or this is because I, made this happen. And then what happens? The humility decreases and ego increases.
Yeah.
So there's this art of humility. And actually, again, Bhakti Charu Maharaj said that our own endeavors can only take us to a certain level, but ultimate goal will be attained only by the mercy of Vaishnavas and the mercy of Krishna. So similarly here, that our endeavors, we can only hit a certain amount. We need to be mindful that this cannot, the things that we are doing, yes, we are trying we're becoming the instruments. But if we remember that actually it's only by the sanction of the divine or the gurus or the Vaishnavas, who are the devotees of the Lord, then we can do these things. So I was just, and thank you, Krish, 100% true. I'm glad you agree. This is something I felt very important. So we've got two parts. One is humility, but we also have to understand that we are not independent. We are dependent. If we really want to capture.
And I have to share a story.
Oh, please.
On that. So in Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada, he spends a large section speaking about faith, where faith can come from. And he says that this faith comes from association with devotees. So just like you said, you need the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Now, when we think about great lovers of God, when we think about great devotees of God, in the topmost tier, I think all of us who know of them can agree that Krishna's mother and father had to have been among the best, topmost lovers, devotees of God that there ever were on the face of creation.
Yes. Do you agree? Does everybody agree? That's what I want to see. I can see the hearts coming on Insta. I'm looking at the 161 on our channels, on the other channels.
That's right.
The guys on Insta are on it. And yes, I can see, really appreciate the talk. Thank you. Yes, we're getting some hearts coming.
Great. So yeah, Krishna's mother and father are among the topmost of the devotees of God. And then you have Mother Yashoda, his mother. She is always trying to do the best for him. She's always just thinking, oh, my Krishna will want milk sweets. Let me make them personally. And then she goes, and as we've heard the story, Krishna is a baby. He's about 3 or 4. He gets angry because she's not giving him all of her attention. He breaks a butter pot. He steals the yogurt that's inside. He goes and he takes it, and then he leaves butter footprints and yogurt footprints across the floor, smears some on the walls. He goes into a storeroom and feeds it to the monkeys. And then his mother comes out and she sees him. And then she has to go, and she's chasing him with a stick, trying to get him to just behave. Just don't be so restless. She's trying her best now to take care of her little boy. And when she finally catches him, she thinks, okay, just to get him to just stay in one place for a little while, just so I can serve him, she wants to tie him up. And as we know what happens when she goes to tie him up, the rope is 2 inches too short, 2 fingers too short. And she tries and she tries and she tries and she tries. And so this is likened to our own endeavor in spiritual life. But we also need the mercy of Krishna to meet us halfway, to make ends meet.
Yeah.
But Mother Yashoda tried that, and it wasn't working. It was only after she called every single gopi in the village and asked them to bring ropes from their houses that Krishna agreed to let himself be tied. So just like you said, we need Krishna's mercy. So sure, our own endeavor will get us there. With our own endeavor, we can catch slippery, tricky Krishna. But can we bind him? Can we hold him? No. So we need his mercy. But what else do we need? We need to call everybody that we know and sincerely ask them, okay, you bring rope. You bring your love of Krishna. You bring your love of Krishna. You bring your love, and we'll all combine it together. And then we all bind Krishna.
That is why Kirtan is so important.
Yeah.
Hey, because if you think about it, Kirtan, I've always said Kirtan is a glue that keeps people together. Like, you know, the biggest bonds are coming from, but actually what you just said, we're all bringing our love together, and then we're offering that. This is why Sankirtan is so important. Thank you. I was just thinking, this is why we do it. So
Yeah.
So anybody out there, if you want to know about Kirtan, if you want to do Kirtan, hook us up. We would love to. We'd like to check that out. And also, there's lovely Kirtans on Acyuta Gopi's YouTube channel as well. She's got Acyuta space Gopi. Check it out. She's putting some lovely things. So Kirtan is what it's about. And just on that, what does Kirtan do? It makes us happy. When we're all coming together, it makes us feel so happy. So there's, just to add on that then, so to capture blessings, we need humility. We talked about surrender in a way that it's not just our own endeavors, it's everyone together. We need to know that we are not dependent. We're not independent, but we're dependent. And there's another one I wanted to bring to the mix. And that is, and this is something Mahatma Prabhu said. He says, be happy when others get what you want. It will open up you receiving more blessings. So be happy when others get what you want. It will open up you to receiving more blessings. Reason I'm saying this, to be happy, this is how we have to do, and this is how blessings needs to be. So if we with a bitter heart, or we have these type of things, the blessings will not stay. This is another thing. So this is in a way reverse psychology, but it's so true. Okay, that person got that Ferrari F40 that you really wanted. Be happy for it. My God, I'm so grateful that you've got this. That means you can take me for a ride. It's just like have that mindset to do it. So again, I'm just giving a very materialistic one, but what's your thoughts on that? So to be happy for others.
Yeah. From the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam all the way through every canto, there is this principle of a society of non-envious people working together with God in the center. And why is that? One, because if we're completely honest, that's really hard to do. It's hard for me. You know, when you want to do a service so badly and you think, I just want to, even if it's, I want to sing Kirtan at this particular time. You might think, I want to sing that midnight arti on Janmashtami. I want to sing that Abhishek Kirtan on Janmashtami, and then someone else does it. Can we sit in that Kirtan with the same enthusiasm and the same love as if we ourselves were leading it, knowing that that person is getting those blessings with the faith that, like you said, it will open up the door to our own blessings. And the question is, why? We hear in the story of Druva Maharaj, we hear in the story of Gajendra, basically any of the stories of Srimad Bhagavatam. At the end, they come with a benediction. For one who hears this story with faith, for one who reads this story with faith, for one who recites it, remembers it even, and they have all these benedictions. You get the benediction of performing this sacrifice or that sacrifice. You get untold benefits. You get so many blessings, so many blessings. And one Vaishnav commentator was saying that this is because when we associate with those pastimes where Krishna has performed his miracles, where Krishna has performed his pastimes, when we remember them, those same blessings that happened to those people then get showered upon us. And I'm a person like, okay, what does that mean for us today? Exactly. What does that mean? How is Srimad Bhagavatam relevant for us right now? Krishna is performing pastimes with every single one of us. So if we see that other person gaining those blessings and we start thinking, wow, Krishna has performed a miracle for this person. Look at the pastimes my Krishna is having with this person. Look how they got to lead this arti. Even if I wanted it, look how Krishna is reciprocating with this person. The same that happens in Bhagavatam happens in our everyday lives. This is why it opens up the door for more blessings. Because now that we've put a spiritual spin on it, when we look at it with that perspective that, oh, they didn't just get what I want. No, Krishna is reciprocating with this person as a promise to me in the future.
There you go. So I love that type of mindset as well. It's like, because we are also, what we're doing there is we're seeing a spiritual spark in everybody. We're seeing that they all have the divine within them. Yeah. So when we're doing that, that's what pleases the divine more, is when we actually glorify others. When we don't, what is it? We have no respect for us. We give respect to others, but not expect any respect in return. This is another fundamental aspect of able to capture blessings, that be happy for others and don't expect things back when we do things for others. This is, if we can have it in this type of way, this will be very good. So yes, we have certain practicalities that we follow in any type of faith. But I think this, what we just talked about here, humility, surrender, be happy for others, these are the things that are transversal regardless of what faith you follow. And here we're talking about in terms of Krishna consciousness. But if you're listening on this right now and you come from a Christian background, from an Islamic background, from a Buddhist background, a Jain background, whatever background you come from, this is still relevant. So thank you for tuning in. And I know we have people from different faiths on, and I just wanted to just say, really appreciate you coming on. And also, just so you're aware, Acyuta Gopi, Krish said he's subscribed to your YouTube channel. So thank you. So just for everybody, we're talking about blessings, and we're trying to say, and I want to just say, you mentioned about Srila Prabhupada, and today is his appearance day. And I was having a conversation with Vegavan Prabhu, who is one senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And he is the one, if you live in Sweden, give us a heart if you're from Sweden, in all the different channels. But he is like one of the pioneers of the movement there. Srila Prabhupada asked him to go assist and help Ajit Prabhu and the people there to bring it up. He's helped in Australia to set up centers, and been to Malaysia as well, many places. And he was saying, he coined this term, that I would see Prabhupada magic happening everywhere. And I was like, wow, yeah, Prabhupada magic. Now this is, we're talking about blessings. So if you look at it, if you look at him, I'll give you one pastime that he was mentioning. So back in the days, in the 70s, the Hare Krishnas were not as, should we say, they were known, but I would not say as well known as now, due to, and they were looking for a center in the heart, and they found this beautiful castle in Sweden, and they wanted to procure it as a spiritual center. They met with the owner, but of course they met in a nice plush hotel. They, and they were wearing wigs, because of course the Hare Krishnas in those days, majority were shaven. So they didn't want to give it like what we call no entry to barrier. They didn't want any barriers in having that conversation on a human to human level. And after a few conversations, the owner was very taken by them. But lo and behold, there was another offer on the table for this building. And it was much more than what the Hare Krishnas at the time could afford. Now, this other person that was offering, they came from more of a, should we say, maybe a different type of background, not a spiritual, but let's say a bit more criminal background. But that's just how it may have been. And this owner of this place decided even though the Hare Krishnas were not giving as much, they went with the Hare Krishnas. Have you ever heard of that? Like, if you're selling your house and somebody says, "Hey, I'm going to give you 500,000," and somebody else comes and goes, "You know what? I'll give you 575,000 cash." I'm sure you'll be thinking, I'd rather go to 575. I know this guy's a nice guy, but hey, money is money. Money talks. I'm going to just take that. Here, they took the lower end offer because they liked it. And isn't that mind-blowing? He said this was Prabhupada magic, because Prabhupada asked us to get this place. And now, because he was giving us the blessings and he is directly connected to the divine, everything was possible. And we had the blessings and it happened.
Yeah. What's interesting is Mother Yamuna, in her diaries and in her writings from the very early days of the movement, even before all of this, she would call it Krishna magic.
There we go.
And she would say that we would see evidence of Krishna magic everywhere, especially if we were nearer to Srila Prabhupada. And it's like the closer in proximity you get to Srila Prabhupada, the more Krishna magic you would see. So yeah, she also took that term and really drove it home as much as possible, even to a point where I was like, I needed to adopt that in my life. And I did. And for a long time, especially at the beginning of this year, my whole motto was like, choose Krishna magic. Choose the magic at every moment possible. Choose it. Because it is a choice. Just like that, the owner, we have that choice. Sometimes we look at material nature and she seems like she's offering us so much more. And then we look at our spiritual lives and it's like, doesn't seem like there's as much here. Doesn't seem like there's as much sense gratification. Doesn't seem like, am I going to really be as happy or as taken care of or as wealthy or as situated? And then Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, they work their magic. And all of a sudden there are miracles every step of the way. No matter what we think, no matter how we can see the situation or we can't, like that's our position. We always have that same choice. And what's amazing is that in selling that building to the devotees, you get untold blessings. Even if it wasn't your intention to get blessings.
Isn't that it's just when he was telling me this, honestly, I was like having goosebumps, because it was when you see it in action, or when you get facts. Like for me, what makes more is coincidences are good, and we understand coincidences can happen, but these type of things are no coincidence. These are actually blessings at work. You can see it happening. And I was speaking to Brahmatirtha Prabhu, who's also made people know him as Bob Cohen, who of course had the perfect questions and perfect answers. And he was saying that he was an individual that came into the movement, he was a science teacher. He came to this hut where Srila Prabhupada was giving, he did a conversation with him. And Yamuna Mataji, who you just said, Yamuna Devi, she said, after a few days, she went and she had like tears in her eyes. And she was like, do you know how fortunate you are? You're so lucky. I'm so happy for you that you're getting this mercy and this blessings to spend so much time with the divine. Just when you said about Yamuna Devi, I just thought she was just ecstatic. And then at that point, that's when it clicked for him. He said that this is definitely the process. I'm so fortunate. He was just so taken back by the mercy, the blessings he had to able to speak to Srila Prabhupada for 3 days in a row. And I was just, again, this is where it comes. And she actually, Yamuna Devi there, was showing us how to be happy for others.
Yeah.
You know that saying I said to you that came from Mahatma Prabhu? Be happy when others get what you want. It will open you up to receiving more blessings. She was the epitome of that. She was showing us there how happy she was that this person who is new getting so much association. And look what happened to her. She even got even more blessings. You can see by her personal example of how she opened up centers, how she came to the UK, how the Govindam, Aarti, is sang that she composed even to this day. So be happy for others. She's just shown, when you said Yamuna Devi, it just came to me that this was one example that we're not just talking here, everyone. This is pure, a conversation where it's so pure that there's so many examples that makes our conviction, mine and Acyuta Gopi's, so strong in spiritual life. And it's because of these people that have given these blessings. So thank you, Acyuta, for just bringing up that point,
As we were talking, I think my new favorite question to ask anyone and everyone is going to be this. Jagannath, have you ever spent a month on any moving, traveling object? Like, did you ever take a plane ride that was a month long?
No. The longest I've had is, I think, something like 12 or 14 hours. I had 3 days in a boat.
I had a 19-20 hour flight to South Africa.
Wow. Okay.
So I think that was the longest consecutive thing. And you said you spent like 2-3 days on a boat. How did you feel?
Seasick.
Like, I'm ready to get off this boat.
I felt so seasick. I have to say, I said, I went to the stewardesses that help. I said, look, I'm feeling really seasick. And they gave me a pill. And this pill was very big. And I saw this pill. I said, how do you expect me to swallow this? They go, no. This is induced. So I'll just leave it to everyone's imagination. This pill doesn't go through here. It goes through somewhere else. And I did not feel sick after that. Just so you're aware. So if anybody knows about it, had that before, just say. But yeah, 3 days, I would say. 3 days. Yeah.
And did you ever feel like, I want to go do that again?
No.
And then I think about Srila Prabhupada. His journey on that boat was a month long.
Yes.
I have never been on any traveling thing for a month. On the flight that was 20 hours long, I was halfway through. I was just kind of like, why am I still on this moving tube in the air? Can't I just be anywhere else? I can't be here anymore. And you get, cabin fever, and you just want to walk around, and you want to be out, and you want to be about. And so you had seasickness, and Srila Prabhupada has seasickness, but there's no like, I'll get off in 2-3 days.
No.
This voyage is going on for weeks.
Yeah.
That is unfathomable to me.
And it wasn't even a cruise ship. He's gone on a cargo ship.
Yeah.
That didn't have any like nice little stopover destinations whilst we're on your way to New York, just so everybody's aware.
Yeah. And then not just seasickness, but to have serious health issues. You have a heart attack and there's not a doctor, hospital that you can run to. I mean, normally if that were to happen, if someone were to have a heart attack, they'd find out if there was a doctor on board. And if not, they would dock on a cruise. They would dock and try and find you a doctor in a hospital.
Yes.
And more than one heart attack.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for somebody to have some supernatural power before we can believe in their faith in God. This is a supernatural power. To be able to cross all of these seas on one voyage, 2 heart attacks, seasickness. I am sure you're hungry, you're tired. He doesn't have a large buffet to eat every day.
No.
In his 70s, that is inhuman. That is superhuman. That is a supernatural feat in itself. And still we kind of look and, oh, someone's asking if there were
Krishna
no
Priya,
doctors.
just saying, yeah.
Yeah, if there were no doctors, how did he recover? He literally prayed to Krishna. Krishna arrived and came to him in a dream, and that is it.
Yes.
Literally, that's it. Krishna's mercy. That's why I'm saying this is a miracle. This is the supernatural feat that we are looking for. Not that you can produce ash, or that you can produce gold, or that you can tell me what I'm thinking. The miracle is that you would and could survive all that, and then go preach to the people and not say, I'm God, give me all your money. He didn't do that.
Nope.
And not once did he say, you know, I came to all of you, I took up so much trouble, and you're giving me a hard time, forget it.
He didn't. And look at where he was living the first few years at the start, you know, with a family that were not devotees. And he tolerated so much. In those days, people would be, you know, drugged out, drugged up to the max. You know, he's had so many incidences of this. And when we see, like you said, these saintly individuals, where do they go? They don't go down to the Bowery. They go to the plush Manhattan, or they don't go to these. This is what I really was so inspired by Srila Prabhupada. He went to the places where the people needed spirituality the most. You know, that people he could see, his compassion. And this is the part, be happy, what we said. He was so compassionate. Like, you just see it in everyday life. If you just read his books, there's a book called What is the Difficulty? It's one book that made me feel so closer to him when I was reading it. But if you see his compassion for the individuals that at this age of 70, as Acyuta Gopi just said, 2 heart attacks, no doctors, and actually had another heart attack when he was when he got to New York as well. So that he actually was having 3 heart attacks. He was actually paralyzed on the 3rd one, all the way from his neck down for so long that he was in the hospital. And then he said, take me away from here, because he could not help individuals in this state. And they took him away. This is something I heard recently. And you can see it. He's living example of blessings. He is getting blessed. What did he say on that cargo ship as well? That poem he wrote that was not meant to be shared to everybody else. He's offering
it's such humility. He's like, you've named me Bhakti Vedanta, but I don't have any devotion, nor do I have any scholarly knowledge. I don't know why you've brought me here, but you can fulfill the purport of my name, and you can make this mission a success. For him to say, I don't have any devotion and I don't have any scholarly knowledge, just reading some of the purports, I'm like, I don't have any scholarly knowledge. Srila Prabhupada, I don't know what you're talking about, but I barely have the knowledge, and English is my first language, born and raised with just English, and I still don't understand what these purports are speaking about, because he says it in such a scholarly way. And I'm looking at the texts, I'm looking at the purports and going, I never would have been able to distill this from this. This is genius. And this is Krishna magic. This is pure devotee magic. This is what comes to us.
Wow. No, I've seen Annie Ketker's just saying failure or preparation ? Annie, could you please elaborate on that? We'll love to take some comments and questions, and please, everybody here as well from our different channels that are on, thank you for staying. Today is a very important day. It's the appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, who came on this planet and gave so much love, compassion, with so much humility and such a surrendered soul, who just said, chant and be happy. So the power of blessings, yes, the power of blessings have just come. Humility, surrender, be happy for others. Srila Prabhupada showed us this. He showed us how to do like this.
You know, once you get to New York, things aren't great. New York winters are colder than Russia. New York summers are sometimes hotter than Mumbai. Like this is a common thing in New York. We have temperatures that go to both extremes. This man is 70. It's not like he came from India, which was equipped to deal with below freezing temperatures in New York.
No.
And so, you know, it's like, why are you Hare Krishnas all so crazy about Prabhupada? You know, why are you all so obsessed? Why are you so fanatical? Because he faced criticism from other Indian sadhus just because he wanted to come and save me.
Yes.
Other sadhus said, let them deal with it themselves.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He had compassion that went beyond compassion. And all he met time after time was obstacle. It wasn't like he got here and then everything was smooth sailing. A man who was his roommate was in a drug-induced stupor and chased him with a knife. Srila Prabhupada was running in the middle of the night for his life from a man with a knife who was on drugs. You cannot reason with them.
Yes.
So there's no reasoning with them when they're on drugs. They're under this strong, heavy influence of LSD and all these hallucinogens. This is why I'm so obsessed and so fanatical when it comes to Srila Prabhupada, because this he went through to save me. No one else was coming to the West. Even if they go to Europe, they weren't coming here to New York. They just weren't. They left that to somebody else. Somebody else can do it. Srila Prabhupada said there won't be anybody else. No, who else will do it? And then he decided, I will take up the mission myself. My Guru Maharaj asked, that's all I need.
There we go.
That kind of faith is, if I have to give my life to something, let me give my life as an offering to that faith.
There we go. Thank you so much. And Manjari for Life said, Acyuta Gopi is so humble. I rely on her empowered scholarly knowledge. I agree with you, Manjari for Life. She's just being a humble soul as she is. And I just want to also, Kerai Niraj says, Jai Shri Krishna, I am Swaminarayan follower, and I'm truly inspired with this discussion. It lines so much with our teachings. Thank you for coming on, Kerai. We are one family here. Actually, my mother's side are Swaminarayan followers. So I'm very attached to the Swaminarayan faith. And my dad's side were Sai Baba followers. And then you got my sister and me who are Hare Krishnas.
You got a whole
we got the best of all. We got we see the beauty of all faiths. So it's really, thank you for coming on, Kerai, and commenting. It's so much appreciated. And Annie Ketka has got back to us. And by the way, congrats, Annie. I know you were doing your exams. I hope it went well. Please do let us know. DM us. We are praying for you. So she says, Annie Ketka says, so when we said about failure or the word, she says, someone commented that Prabhupada faced years of failure, but he himself said he was preparing to go to the West. So this part about failure and success, so preparation, failure or preparation. So remember, because he used to be in the pharmacy aspect, he had a business which didn't do as well, and of course he closed. But this is the part you're coming on with. Someone commented that Prabhupada faced years of failure, but he himself said he was preparing to go to the West. When the divine wants you to do something, then you cannot stop it. His thing was bigger than having a chain of pharmacies. His thing was spreading Krishna consciousness. And there's one thing that really, really struck me, which I'm going to try and find. It was a saying that, but it's gone out of my head at the moment. But I'd like to hear your thoughts about this part that Srila Prabhupada went to the West and there was failure, but of course he was preparing.
He didn't consider that failure, because what would a chain of pharmacies have done for him? And he always says at the end of your life, what is it? It's all finished. So he was constantly kind of looking and saying, okay, I know my Guru Maharaj told me to do one thing, and then I started doing other things. So his Guru Maharaj had already told him, you should preach Krishna consciousness to those in the West. He took one look at him and told him. And then he decided, oh, let me do other things, as we often do, as we all do. We hear one spiritual instruction and we think, I'll take care of that when I'm older. That's for later in life. And then things happen. The world turns, a pandemic hits. And what does old really mean anymore? Because people are dying, and death doesn't care what your age is. So at the end, it's all finished. So he never considered that a failure. And he would often say, okay, Krishna took that away because he wanted me to do something else. But there are funny stories. He was sitting on a bench, and I think it was in Boston, speaking to a Jewish man. And the man asks him, oh, so why have you come here? He said, oh, I've come, preaching this philosophy, bringing this religion. He said, oh, how many centers do you have? Srila Prabhupada was saying, I have so many. I have 108. He hadn't done anything at that point. But Srila Prabhupada had the vision that this is going to happen because this is what Krishna wants. And I have faith that I am following what Krishna wants. So sometimes we have to really look internally and think, okay, what does Krishna want? Because sometimes it doesn't align with our goals to be a corporate stock trader and be rich. Sometimes that's not what aligns with our spiritual goals the most. And we have to know that in surrendering to what Krishna wants and Krishna's plan, we never are failures. We do not ever lose.
And just it's come back. So this was Tokyo, Srila Prabhupada. So this is one of the letters Srila Prabhupada wrote in April 25th, 1972. And he said, the difficulty is sometimes Krishna's Ashirvad, which means blessings, may be just the opposite. Krishna will take away. So at that time, they become atheists. Here, Srila Prabhupada, Krishna took it all away. This was his blessings. This is Krishna's blessings. So yes, he was not a failure. This was, like we were mentioning, he was meant for something greater. And so Krishna took it away. And look what happened.
Yeah.
He just then spread this mission of this spiritual movement around the world, opening 108 centers. Like you're saying on that bench, he had that vision. So this is Srila Prabhupada's words. The difficulty is sometimes Krishna's Ashirvad, which means blessings, may just be the opposite. Krishna will take away. So at that time, they become atheists. So please, everybody on this call, remember, sometimes the blessings are when things are taken away. See the bigger picture. And look what Srila Prabhupada. So if sometimes you're feeling down and you think, oh my God, why is this been happening? Why is that happening? Think of Srila Prabhupada. Everything was taken away. And look what he achieved. So
much more than
again,
a chain of pharmacies.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I've got an uncle that's a pharmacist, who's got a chain of pharmacies. I'm sure he would say that Srila Prabhupada, wow, look what he did.
I mean, in a way, it's a pharmacy for the soul. So he opened up a chain.
Oh, yes. I love it. I love it. Right. You know what? Today has been so nice just thinking of Srila Prabhupada, talking about blessings. I'm going to just see if we can get one question in, because I know we want some kirtans as well. So I'm just checking. Let me just see the question. Okay. Okay. So Krishna Priya has said, it's nice that you come out with these open questions, and this is what we want. Why didn't Prabhupada encourage people in the West to turn to their current faiths instead of spreading Krishna's names?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
So the first book, one of the first books I read was The Science of Self-Realization. And I was like 8, 9, 10. And I loved that book because it's so full of Srila Prabhupada's essays and his conversations. So there are so many conversations he had with Catholic priests, with Jesuit priests, with Islamic people. And he would say, this Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on the mind. It is meant to make you a better lover of God. So he would say, if chanting Jesus's name, by whatever name you call him, you chant that name. If this Krishna consciousness helps you become a better Christian, then that is what you do. We are supposed to be better lovers of God. And so he said that is true religion. True religion means to know who is God and how do we love him. So he said in that way, this is non-sectarian. And he would coin that word over and over and over again. It's non-sectarian. We happen to call Krishna Krishna because it means he is all attractive. But does that mean that Allah is not all attractive? No. All it means is that Allah means the great one. And don't we have so many names of Krishna that mean that he is great? We're all saying the same things. But if I call the sun, and you're Spanish and you call it sol, and somebody else calls the sun soleil, am I saying that, wow, we're all talking about something different? No, we're all speaking about the sun. And if we can all figure out what's going on with that sun, then we figure out science. So in this way, that's why you would call it the science of Krishna consciousness. Because it doesn't matter what name you use. It is meant to make you a better Christian, a better Muslim, a better Jain, a better person who is conscious of God and our relationship with the divine.
There we go, everybody. So know the divine and love him. These are the two most important aspects we must do. So thank you so much. And I'm looking at the time, but just before I move on, a lot of these realizations, if you're loving what you're hearing, Acyuta Gopi has put a lot of it into her book. She's put a heart into this book, Prema Mala. So please do check it out. It's on mybook.to/Prema if you would like to have a copy. And also she's on YouTube. We just said, somebody said they're subscribed. She's on Facebook and of course Instagram right now as well. So if you want to connect, it's Acyuta space Gopi for YouTube, lowercase dot Gopi for Instagram, and Facebook, Acyuta Gopi, one word. You can find her on all these channels. And also, if you would like to connect with me as well, then please do. I'm on YouTube as well, Jagannath Dasa. These sessions are actually going broadcast there live as well. So if you feel like connecting there, and also thank you to the lovely channels, the Fortunate People, Bhagavad Gita channel, Chant Now, and Mayapur TV for being such great supporters and helping the world become fortunate and helping us give a platform to take this forward. So I just want to say thank you to all of them. And if you want to connect, I'm talking to Facebook friends here, on DM me on Instagram, Jagannath_Dasa. So many of you have connected up and we've been having lovely discussions. And if there is anything that's on your mind, feel free. Let's discuss. It's always good to talk. So without further ado, please, Acyuta Gopi, on this amazing day of Srila Prabhupada's appearance day, could we please have a kirtan?
Yes, this tune is one that Srila Prabhupada would sing. And it's one of my favorite tunes. And he would sing it and it was so beautiful. And so I thought I would sing it today.
Please.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
You know that, thank you so much. That tune, Vaishishya Prabhu, I heard him do this with a lot of students online. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful tune. And he able to do it on Zoom while they're all on. I need to ask him how he did it. Maybe you can do a kirtan where
he is a magical person.
He is. He's absolutely phenomenal. And the more these COVID times have shown how fortunate we are to have devotees such as yourself, devotees such as the seniors that we look up to, all the gurus, and also Srila Prabhupada. We're so fortunate to have their association. Even now, through his books, we are getting that association. So thank you so much for all your time on this. And thank you everybody for joining. I really, today was, I couldn't think of a better way of celebrating Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa puja than speaking to you about Srila Prabhupada. So it's really nice. And thank you for all the comments that came through. We really appreciate all your support. Like we're saying, if you want to stay in contact, please, we're both approachable. You can always contact us. So Acyuta Gopi, in Facebook, we've got it as Acyuta Gopi, one word, and you'll find her. Lowercase.gopi on Instagram, and then YouTube. That channel she has now revived is Acyuta space Gopi. So you can find her there. You'll find, and myself as well, Jagannath_Dasa, and also on YouTube now. So we just want to make every barrier of entry so you can get to speak and get whatever you want, and we'll be your servants. So just please do contact. And guess tomorrow, Acyuta Gopi, I'm speaking to our friend Ian Nene, where we're going to be talking just about, again, carrying on the theme of the power. So please do join us. And for those that are on, and that's a School of Bhakti as well. Check them out. They're an amazing organization. So School of Bhakti, one word, and you'll find them on Facebook. And so we're going to be carrying. So, and on Saturday, I'm so lucky. I'm going to be speaking to Malati Prabhu. I feel so. We're going to be talking about the early days, the pioneering days of this movement. So please do join and catch us back next Thursday. Myself and Acyuta Gopi will be carrying on. So thank you so much. Is there any final words before we go, Acyuta Gopi? We've got 1 minute left.
I'm so thankful for you. I'm so glad you're my brother. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. So let's keep this going. So thanks, everyone. And all says Hare Krishna, Happy Janmashtami, and Happy Prabhupada Appearance Day. So Hare Krishna. Take care.